Hi everyone, and welcome to the full moon vibes for November, which happens to take place at the end of the month. Normally we have it before the new moon, much earlier in the month. And it's almost funny because the full moon normally makes me just a little bit anxious because its impact is normally much more radical and a lot stronger, whereas the new moon can sometimes be a little bit gentler, still yet powerful. But it doesn't have the same, it's not really showing us the same wake-up call vibe that the full moon sometimes do have. But what I have to say about this full moon is that I'm actually enjoying it because despite, what's been said about this beautiful full moon, one is about second chances. And I am all for second chances, even third chances. I love this one because this is exactly what we all need, especially after all the shenanigans and all the stress from this year, decisions that we made out of fear that, it maybe caused us to land ourselves in situations that were maybe not so ideal, or that helped us to plan a bit better, or things that didn't go according to plan. Maybe it was breaking off a relationship dynamic that you regret due to high emotions and you've been trying to process or work through that, or that job offer that you maybe threw to the side, or friendship that you severed because there was just too much going on in your life. Also keep in mind, you're not Superman or Superwoman. We all have our threshold and what we feel that we are capable of dealing with. And when we all, when we also have experienced just too much stress, then we are of course more vulnerable to hitting that breaking point of what can we tolerate and what can we not tolerate anymore. So you might have now found yourself a few times in an emotional rut. And if you did, then I don't have to tell you that it was probably not an easy time for you. And it's probably also not an easy time for you now, that if you felt you made a mistake. It's not always easy to admit that. And it's interesting because if we look back now, how quickly things can go right to boom, zero, wrong. And sometimes it happens so fast that you don't even have time to correct your mistakes. And maybe also you might not have had the emotional strength to even fight back in a situation where you probably feel like you should have. Maybe you should have defended yourself a lot more. Or you just said the wrong thing at the wrong time. And a plan that was something that you planned to have really good intentions probably could have been blown up in your face. Now, honestly, this full moon is actually asking you, and it's showing you to take it easy on yourself. Because if you can relate to this, then it's not just because of what, for example, we have been through this year. It's also just called life. We make mistakes. We learn, we heal, we improve ourselves. We make mistakes again, and then we improve ourselves all over again. And even more, it's a journey. It's a journey that I'm sure you've noticed, you've learned by now, and I surely have. There's not really any shortcuts other than having self-awareness to start to navigate yourself through these moments constructively and with purpose. Now, I use the word purpose because it's so important to do things in your life with purpose, with clear intention, not just aimlessly or because it feels right. Life has kind of recently shown us how life can be lived in a more conscious way with more purpose, rather than just passively following or just doing things for the sake of doing it because others are doing it. Right? To make decisions with purpose, to act with purpose, meaning you have a very clear intended goal set ahead of you. You're not just doing something or hoping for the best. However, I'm also sure that there were probably moments where you made decisions without purpose, but rather out of frustration, impulsive reactions, things that were said and done that you regret. And maybe you were on the receiving end of these actions. Not necessarily saying that you did that. You could have been on the receiving end as well. And then there you go. You were left with resentment or even feeling responsible for someone's actions and reactions. And today is all about letting that go. Today is about shaking off these invisible, energetic burdens that you've been carrying with your, whether it's conscious or subconscious. Because this vibe is all about putting past actions and reactions to rest. We have a new window of opportunities for relationships and goals and dreams and careers opening right in front of us. And now it's the time, it's happening. And it will continue to stay open until at least January 2021. So now let's also have a look at how your physical body might have been reacting to this full moon. And I'm very sure by now that, if you're familiar with my research and my videos, that you've noticed that when you experience certain types of strong emotions, it can really drain your body to a great extent. And you can even feel certain parts of your body flaring up, say in the form of pain or tension, physical discomfort that can start to come up somewhere in your body. And the reason for that is that our emotions are also held and stored in our body. And this emotional storage can start to build up over time. And this full moon can now actually trigger issues in your shoulders, which would psychosomatically mean that maybe you've been carrying the guilt or the responsibilities of others that doesn't belong to you. You could also feel a lot of tension maybe in your arms that's been, flaring up. It can be feeling maybe painful or problematic in some way. And psychosomatically, this means also like being and feeling unable to protect yourself. But at the same time, it's also about asking for support, to receive support in your life. Do you feel safe to do that? You might have the support, but you might not actually feel comfortable asking for it. So if that has been a big issue for you in your life, you might feel a lot more tension in your arms than normal on this day. And even it could be having, you could feel issues with your hands. There could also be more noticeable problems like maybe flare-ups, inflammation, skin rashes, irritation, or just stiffness. And this also relates to your ability to give and receive support, but more so giving and receiving love as well, especially during times when you feel vulnerable, when you really feel like you need that person that just can come and just lift you out of any drama or stress that you might be finding yourself in. And also, in this instance, it could be showing you that you have been maybe looking for acceptance and love from people who are not able to give it to you. And now issues in your hands are bringing this hidden emotional message to your conscious awareness. Now on this moon, we also have issues with the respiratory system and like bronchial tubes and the lungs that can also start to flare up, which would signal old grief that is now, it's coming up because it needs to be processed so that you can finally let go and move on. So maybe you might feel a really strong need to cry, and if you do it. Crying is the body's natural way of releasing old stress. It's natural stress cycle, guys, that the body is trying to complete, right? So the more you suppress it, the more harm you're actually causing to your body, and the body is suffering, trying to cope with the stress that it's trying to let go of. So, in short, stop it. Stop fighting with your body. Cry if you need to cry. Let it go. You know now what negative associations we have with crying. You know, when we cry, we're shamed. If we cry, we may feel guilty. If we cry, we're made to feel responsible for making someone else unhappy. Or if we cry, then we get beaten up, or there's some kind of punishment that follows. What do you think is going to happen over time? You are going to form a negative association with crying, with the very thing that the body is designed to adapt to when it's overloaded with too many negative emotions. That's the body's way of completing and releasing a cycle that has built and built and built and built to the point where it can't handle it anymore, and then it explodes. You cry, and there's a really beautiful cathartic release. So you can read a lot more about this in my book, Metaphysical Anatomy, because here in this book, I talk about so many different ailments and hidden messages in your body that we all share universally and globally. And so now, when you are ready, let's start our healing meditation. And also, just before we start, I would like to start by asking you a few questions. You can already sit comfortably or lie down comfortably. And the first question that I have for you is, when you look back at this year, in which area of your life do you regret making a certain decision that had a big emotional impact on you? Meaning, like, this decision or this reaction that you perhaps had, it's still bothering you. You haven't fully let go of it or even made peace with it. Just allow yourself to, your subconscious mind or your conscious mind, just to run through that timeline of this year. And yes, just on a side note, sometimes circumstances can take place that's completely out of your control. And if that is the case for you, then just go along with that for this exercise, because you can control your inner process. I'm just going to give you a minute or two to think of, that one big regret that you maybe remember. And now, when you observe or feel into this situation, what could you have done differently to perhaps ensure a more positive outcome? Or perhaps, what could you have said differently in that moment that could have made a difference? And then also, what emotional resource, meaning emotion, feeling, do you feel was suppressed or absent within you at the time that could have helped you to deal better with this old situation? What I would like you to do now is, in your body, where perhaps you feel the stress of the absence of this emotion or feeling, find the home for that place inside of your body. And also the emotion regret. Where in your body do you feel that? Once you become aware of it, we're going to go into what's called the delta brainwave state. And this brainwave state will help us to release any feelings of regret, old shock, that feeling of like the unexpected that just happened. Anything in the past that caused you to feel that way, we're going to release that now. And with the delta brainwave state, we're going to be breathing in the nose, out the mouth 10 times. And I invite you to breathe into the area where you feel these negative emotions. And then we'll exhale it out the mouth. And I'm going to do this breathing with you. And we're starting now. Breathing into the area where you feel it in your body. In the nose. Out the mouth. In the nose. Out the mouth. In the nose. Out the mouth. In the nose. Out the mouth, in the nose, out the mouth. Nice deep breaths in the nose, out the mouth. A little bit faster, in the nose, out the mouth, in the nose, out the mouth. Nice deep breaths in the nose, out the mouth. Last deep breath in the nose. And hold. Hold your breath for as long as you can. Allowing yourself just to drop into that dizziness, allowing it to be there. And all that you have to do now is to listen to my voice. I call my power back from times when I couldn't control my environment. I call my power back from times when people controlled my environment and I felt helpless. I call my power back from times when I didn't know how to react. I call my power back from times when I didn't stand my ground. I call my power back from times when I said something that caused upset to others. I call my power back from old regret. I reclaim my birthright to be and feel free from old regret. I reclaim my birthright to be and feel peaceful in my life. I reclaim my birthright to be and feel at peace with decisions that I've made in error. I give myself permission to make a mistake. I reclaim my birthright to be and feel connected to my authentic innocence. I allow myself to see the best in me. And when you're ready, you can take a nice deep breath. Just feeling the surface beneath your body. Feeling your mind, your body, the physical body integrating this healing today. Allowing a beautiful light to come from your head, down your arms, your upper body, your spine, your legs, down, 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 down. Out your feet, into the earth. Grounding you and anchoring you back. Leaving you feeling balanced and at peace. Allowing you now to follow my voice back into the room, back into the here and now. You can wiggle your toes, wiggle your hands, even giving yourself a nice big stretch. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and welcome back. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, be the light that you are.
Hi guys, thank you for joining me, and remember to grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy on Amazon, 679 medical ailments. And I also wrote about the psychosomatic root causes of that, and I'm spoiling you because I even added key points for you to start looking at important questions that you can ask yourself to start improving your quality of life. And also remember to catch me on Instagram, Evette Rose, 1 with the digit 1, and Metaphysical Anatomy on our Facebook fan page. Bye guys!